welcome to our webinar on cultural awareness and how to increase your global performance. I would like, first of all, to introduce the objective of our webinar, and then I will present our speakers. So the objective of our webinar is to help you gain insights and share with you some cases on the importance of cultural awareness and discover effective tools and understand better cultural differences. So the key points of our webinars are, first, how to avoid common mistakes and learn from other companies about the mistakes due to cultural differences, how to apply efficient cultural tools to help drive performance, and hear from companies on how to succeed in diverse markets. As well, we would like to present you some solutions and tools to help you with your global strategy in your decision making. So our webinar, we hope that our webinar will bring you more information on the culture factor, on cross-cultural dimensions, on how to do your global management successfully, and on bring you more cultural awareness. I think on your side you can type for us some messages, ask questions, and we will try and answer them during the webinar or later on. So let's introduce to you our three speakers, Egbert Schramm, myself, Tatiana Miron, and Laura Druitt. So I'll start with myself, just to... So let's go ahead with our webinar. What is culture? Let's go through some basics and some definitions we have in the scientific magazines. And the first one I'm going to introduce is by Edward Tyler, anthropologist, who says that the culture is complete whole, which includes knowledge, belief, art, laws, morals, customs, and any capabilities and habits acquired by a person as a member of society. As well, other scientist, Nancy Adler, professor of organizational behavior, says that culture is something shared by all or almost all members of a given social group, something older members transmit to younger members, and something, as in case of moral laws, that shapes behavior and structures of one's perception of the world. So when we understood what is culture, what do we do about that? Why are we affected by culture, and when are we affected by culture? Let's be clear that in general we are affected by culture everywhere. But as a company, we understand that each culture is different, and when we are working for a company or driving a company, we understand that that culture somehow affects our business. But do we work? Do we manage? Do we organize ourselves differently from culture to culture? That's what we want to know. So there has been proof, and Hofstede Insights are going to talk to us about that later on, that we are affected when we manage our business internationally, when we go abroad, when we negotiate in our negotiation skills and techniques in all sides, legal, sales, procurement, service, everywhere. As well, when we manage our team. If, for example, nowadays we have companies and startups especially, we always hire the skills we need. We don't always look at what nationality they have. And in that case, we are affected by this factor enormously. When we go abroad, we do external growth and we acquire companies. In mergers and acquisitions, when you go abroad and you buy a new company, you need to consider how do you work with that company. And once again, the key point when you lead in terms of leadership, you are affected as well by the cultural dimensions. So there is a very nice graph I would like to share with you about how are we affected when we lead a company, when we manage a company in different countries. So, for example, when we ask a person, how do they view, what do they expect from a manager abroad, we can see that from Sweden, to Japan, there's a huge difference in terms of expectations, what a manager must bring on the table. So when we go abroad, we should take this into consideration. And why we should take this into consideration? Because it's not just a rule, it's just for us to be, more efficient, to have an easier way of doing business. And we have seen that there are many cases, despite all the available knowledge on the cultural differences between countries and even between different nationalities in the same country, we have saw very remarkable differences how the companies act and behave internationally, how they forget sometimes to take this into consideration. So I have listed here some common mistakes we have seen. First is assuming that the market you work in is the same as your home market. And Egbert and Laura are going to share with us some data about this and some testimonies about how it worked for them. We impose the same management style as your local market. Sales team is not experienced in multicultural environment, and you are trying to sell to very diverse countries worldwide. Lack of product adaptation. This is one of the big mistakes when companies go abroad. They take the same product and they just try to sell it to all the countries abroad. As well, failure to conceive the cultural implication in each decision when we act in a multicultural environment. And another mistake we have noticed is when companies with very little experience on international markets start with very distant cultural markets without appropriate preparation and resources for this growth, for this development. So let's discuss a few examples I brought here today. We all know Groupon. We tried it because there was a big boom period when this was launched on the markets. So the Groupon example with China, when they tried to develop in China, they immediately launched. They had 80 offices, 300 employees in the first year. And what we noticed, they had millions of losses and very low margins. And immediately they came as behind the 13 first competitors. So what went wrong? They had to close down. Actually, they didn't close down. They sold their company. But what went wrong? They assumed, once again, even if it's a big company, they had the resources, they could have done the preparation. They assumed that the business model they have in one country, they just can replicate it in any, especially in such a different country as China, different in terms of culture. And so they didn't take into consideration their partner, their local partner. They were very aggressive in terms of staffing. Actually, they went after the competitors' staff, proposing different packages and deals, which actually culturally was not accepted. And as well, they failed as they didn't manage to recruit. The majority of their staff was American, and that all this together brought to their failure to conquer this enormous market, which was holding high potential for them. So failure to understand and prepare for this market brought them to losing this market and actually to give up this enormous potential for them. Another case was we have discussed about the importance of cultural preparation when we do mergers and acquisitions. So we had, I'm bringing this case because we are in France, and this case was largely publicized in the media when Publicis was trying to work with Omnicom, a huge American company, and to do this enormous merger in order to compete with such companies like Google and Facebook. And they planned 50-50 ownership, and the deal was cancelled. So once again, we asked ourselves what was wrong. There was strong corporate culture in both companies. They didn't manage to do the blending. At both companies, the employees, as they didn't have the communication and preparation for this integration, felt threatened, and the internal cultural clashes and power struggles actually destroyed this enormous deal, which could have broad enormous potential and fight with this huge competition faced from Google and Facebook. So if not, I think we have come to the end of our webinar. I would like to thank once again all of the attendees. First of all, thank you for your interest. You'll receive an email from ourselves with the presentation and as well with the link to the video. I would like to thank once again Egbert. Thank you, Egbert and Hofstede Insights.
More than welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Laura. Laura Druid, thank you very much for coming. So we would like to say merci beaucoup, thank you, and good luck with your international development, and let's hear from you good news.
Looking forward to staying in touch with everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're eating.